Welcome to That Girl Club. We're your hosts, Christina and Katarina, and we're here to empower you on your journey to becoming that girl in every aspect of your life.
Join us as we dive deep into inspiring conversations with influential entrepreneurs and experts, sharing their insights and strategies to help you thrive.
From navigating the struggles of womanhood to launching your dream business and everything in between, we've got you.
So buckle up. You are about to discover what it really means to be that girl.
Welcome to the club.
Marcella, welcome to the show. Welcome to That Girl Club.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, we're so excited to have you today. So we kind of told everyone who you are. You're obviously, a very successful entrepreneur. You started BBM Ottawa, moved here from Brazil, immigrated. So we just want you to tell us your story and tell us where you came from. And
it's been a ride. Being an immigrant in Canada with a broken English, it's not something very easy. But it was a beautiful ride that taught me resilience. It taught me discipline. It taught me self-love and to really trust myself and trust my gut.
You're from Brazil, so how long have you been in Canada for? And walk us that whole time in your life.
I moved to Canada in January 2009.
Okay.
After meeting a Canadian boy in Cancun at the pool.
You met him in Cancun at the pool?
At the pool.
I love it. Okay.
Having tequila shots and
drinking
beer.
A trip boyfriend, but he turned into me.
Yes, and I was with my mom. It was a mom and daughter trip, and on day one, I got there with my mom, and it was afternoon. I went to a pub with my mom in Cancun, and I had my first tequila shots, and it didn't go well. I know.
Tequila never goes well.
No. So next morning, my mom woke up early. She went to the beach, and she looked at me. She's like, I'm leaving you at the room. I'm going to go to the beach. It's your problem that you're not feeling well. I'm like, so Mom, I'm dehydrated.
And how old are you at this point?
I was 23.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So you're prime.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom's like, whoa, do you want me to call you a doctor? I'm like, I think so. My mom actually called me a doctor.
Stop.
I paid $700 for a doctor to come to my room to give me IV because I had 2 tequila shots.
No.
Yes, I swear.
I think you might be allergic to alcohol.
I can't drink.
No.
So people that knows me, I know, no. But no, and I remember we traveled, so I didn't eat much that day. It was little snacks in the airplane, and then we sit on this pub, and then they bring us welcome to Cancun tequila shots.
That's always the way it is. You're running off so much adrenaline on a trip that you're just it's go. You don't even think about food. You're just okay, no sleep, let's go.
No. Yes. So my mom, I don't think she actually realized how bad the situation was. I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. Those tequilas, I don't know if they put something in those drinks. I still don't know those days.
Not well.
It was just very strong, Mexican tequila.
That's what they always say. Yeah.
But anyways, a doctor ended up coming to the room. I thought was the housekeepers, and a guy opened the door. I'm like, oh my gosh! But then he had this white suit. I'm like, my mom actually asked a doctor to come. So he looked at me and he said, we should give you some IV. I'm like, whatever can make me feel better.
Yeah,
and he did. I was feeling amazing in 5 minutes. It was the craziest thing. He put something in my arms, and I felt great.
You felt rejuvenated.
Yeah. Yes, that's and so I'm funny. If I knew that before, I didn't have many hangovers because, like I said, I'm very weak to alcohol.
Right.
But so then I got ready. I went to the pool. I couldn't find my mom, so I got this umbrella chair, and there was those Canadian guys throwing a football ball at the pool,
right?
And the ball keep splashing me. I was trying to suntan, and
you're like, fuck off.
You're kind of. I'm like, okay, it's on me too. I'm beside the pool, and I don't want to be splashed. And I started looking for other chairs. There was really nothing available. But then they're oh, come and play. And I'm like, don't know football. And my English was very broken. And then they're like, volleyball. And then the guy that worked at the hotel said, yeah, let's all play volleyball. So he collected everybody. And then that's how I met Trevor. We're playing volleyball. And
Right.
I'm actually a very good volleyball player.
You learned that?
Did you show them your skills?
I did, yes. I think I showed everybody my skills.
love it.
They didn't think I was a sporty girl, and
You surprised them.
I surprised
That's
them.
the best. You're like, not
Yeah.
just a pretty face. I can volley this ball.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. So that's how we met, and we were in the same resort. So for like 6 days we chat, and I explained to him how was my life in Brazil, and he was telling me how was his life in Canada, and we're planning to visit each other.
Wow.
And I came to visit.
So you came to Ottawa, where he was from.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I told him I was going to apply for a Canadian visa. I had a U.S. visa. I didn't have a Canadian visa. When you're South American, you need a visa, right?
Right. And were you guys just starting to get more serious? So you were considering these things to come here, or was it more for you to come here to have a better life versus being with him?
It wasn't about having a better life because I think we talked about him moving to Brazil too. It was something like it was just about let's be together,
Right.
Wherever it works, right? And I was going through a breakup. He was going through a breakup. I kind of feel that we're both needing to
Lean on each other almost. You're going through a similar reality at that time.
Yeah, so we exchanged some emails, and I told him, I'm like, okay, I applied for the Canadian visa. Let's see how it goes. In 11 days, the visa arrived at my house, and I don't even know how that happened because usually, like for younger, let's say woman, they give
it takes a longer time.
It takes a longer
like
time.
months.
They're
Yeah.
like, is she gonna go to stay? You know?
Right.
But my family had some real estate under their names, and I had a stable job, so I was able to show all the documentation that I think they wanted to see it.
Right. So that helped speed things along a little bit faster.
Yes. So yeah, and then I moved here, and I came here.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know, it felt like home. It was really weird.
Really? Like something in you just felt like you were meant to be here?
I felt that there was something here that, I don't know, I got some deja vus when I landed in Canada. Like, it was like just driving through the streets, you know, going to Rockland, and I'm like, wow, like, this is a familiar place. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, maybe it looks like Idaho. I was an exchange student in Idaho. That's how I learned English. That's how I had a little broken English that I was able to communicate.
I didn't know that.
Yes. When I was 16, I told my parents I would love to go to study in the U.S. I was always very good at school, and I was a good student, and I was just well behaved, and my parents trusted me, and I really wanted to learn English. Since I'm a little girl, I've been asking my mom to put me in like English schools and all that. My mom said that I was always very obsessed about the language. And all the girls in Brazil, when they turn 16, usually they throw like a big party, right? Actually, it's at 15 there. Here's Sweet 16. In Brazil, it's the 15th birthday. It's like a huge party that like you introduce your daughter, like the parents, like as this like new woman to the society. And my sister wanted a big party. She had it. All my friends were having those beautiful, beautiful like gala parties with big dresses. And I told my parents, I'm like, no, save the money. I want to go and study in the United States, and I want to learn English and learn more. I was always very, I don't know, like hungry to learn like new things. Curious, yes. Like my surroundings were never like just enough for me, you know?
You always wanted more.
Yes. So moving back to Canada, when I arrived, I was like, maybe it reminds me of Idaho, you know, like this country.
Yeah, it had some familiarity to it.
Yes, but it felt good, and everybody was so like welcoming. I think he prepared his family, saying, "This crazy Brazilian's coming here." So just smile and be nice to her. I don't know. Everybody was really nice and receptive. And I had my ticket bought back 2 weeks after, right?
Okay.
So I was supposed to return in 2 weeks, and a week and a half, and I was here a few days, like 4 days before. I sat down and I chat with him, and he's like, I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to go.
Wow.
And then in my mind, I'm like, I don't even know how this would look like, right? So that means my mom has to quit my job for me, and I have to survive with one bag of clothes, or how is that going to look like? And anyways, it just felt right. I was not scared to stay. It was just crazy. My dad stopped talking to me completely.
Wow.
My dad was like, she's
crazy.
They thought you were
crazy.
just doing it impulsively, right?
They thought I was young, and I was just
Chasing a boy, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
My mom was always supportive, and my mom met him, so my mom was there on the trip.
Right.
So my mom knew, like, they were good people. He was
Yeah.
with his friends, so she met all of them, and she knew I was with a good person.
For sure.
And my mom is an Aries like me, so
An Aries.
Aries.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, so we're both pretty much the same. We love adventures.
Yeah.
We're not scared to try new things. We love the new, and we're so open to what life wants to bring us. Like, we don't try to control that.
Right. You're open-minded.
So my mom understood me. I know she didn't want to show that full support because my dad was right next to her, but she's like, yeah, it will be okay. And I stayed. I never left. And
So
we
you,
had
you got here, you had just one bag to come here for a week. So you didn't even go back to Brazil, get more clothes, nothing. You're just like, here we go, I'm just staying.
Starting my life here anew.
That is crazy. I feel like that would stress me. Like, I'm
Not a lot of
thinking about
people-
it stressing me. That's stressing me out. I'm like, I would want to go home, get more stuff, but you just said, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay.
I was never attached to stuff and things.
Interesting.
Never. And my mom's like, you dress nice, but you have like 4 pair of pants and 3 shirts. Why don't you go buy more? I'm like, I don't need more. I like those. I just keep washing them. And my mom always pushed me to be more of a shopaholic like she is. My mom loves shopping. And
yeah.
it's not something that I
feel like, do you feel like you're still like that today?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I feel like I know you, right? Like, we're quite close. And I feel like you are like that. Like, you kind of just, you have your like main character outfits that you just kind of rotate through.
Yeah.
And like, that's you. That's your wardrobe. Like, I've never seen you wear something where I'm like, oh, that's different. I've never like seen her wear that. It's like, you kind of have your like go-to outfits and go-to pieces.
Yes, I wash them every time. They're super clean. I'm a clean freak. Everybody knows me. I'm a clean. Yes, you know that.
Yes.
Like, I'm a clean freak, and I love everything to be very clean, ironed, and neat. But I'm not attached to shopping. No, I like experiences. I like every money that I can save is to spend on a moment, on a new experience, go somewhere different, and taste a new flavor, you know? And
like the simple like life pleasures kind of
yes,
thing.
and the rest I'm very basic. Even if it doesn't look like, that's the thing. Like, you know, I'm simple. I don't need too much.
Do you think it's important not to get too attached to certain, you know, whether it's a place, a situation, because life is ever evolving?
I don't know any other way. So that's how I am. So when I see people being like attached to things, you know, and scared of the new, I'm just like, I'm trying to understand how their brain works, right?
You don't get it.
No, I listen to them and I'm like, okay, but there's so much out there. You can be anything. You can do anything you want, and you're not happy, you're complaining. Why don't you change? You can change right now, right?
Yeah, you could wake up and change it tomorrow.
Yes, and this person telling me of how hard their life is and how unhappy they are, and they are not willing to make any changes. They feel they are like, how do I say, like
Trapped.
like a tree on the ground
Yeah, they're
that have
stuck.
roots that they
Yes.
can't move. And that's how I see kind of like people that I guess think that way. I'm like, you're not a tree. You actually have wings, and that you can be anywhere right now. You can change anything right now, right? And I have a little bit of that impulsive side on me. It's because if it's not good, I know I can change like this,
Right.
and I do change, and I take chances. Yeah.
What would your advice be to someone then who is kind of feeling like that tree stump in the ground, so to speak, and who's stuck? What would your advice be to that person to like make that change, and what's kind of like what can they do to get out of that mindset?
First, you need to get to know who you are. I feel that I talk to so many girls and they're asking me for advices or coaching or just to be a friend, and I feel that they don't even know who they are. They don't even know where they would like to be, or what's their passion, you know?
But how do you find that? How do you figure that out, in your opinion? Because I feel like you found your passions and you embody, like, you are so confident. You do know yourself, right? Would you say that's accurate?
Yes, I do know myself. But I have like a very loud voice inside me that speaks to me all the time. It's very loud. And every partner I've ever had in my life, from husband to fiancé to boyfriend, and didn't have many, but all of those, they always say the same thing to me: you don't listen. And it's because, you know, we discuss things, they tell me something, and then I do something completely different. And I feel guilty sometimes because I'm not able to compromise in some things because of this. I really listen to one voice only, and it's like this voice inside me.
Your
you know?
intuition, yeah.
It's some people call intuition, some people call God, you know,
The universe.
The universe. I don't know what it is, but I always had that voice saying, "You have to do this." And then I discuss with my partner, "Oh, let's do that instead." I'm like, okay, let's try to do that. And then, you know, I get alone, I get on my own zone, and the voice says again, "No, do this." And then I just do this. And then my partners are like, "I thought we talked about it." I'm like, "I know."
So you're like, my gut feeling changed on it, or whatever it might be. Yeah.
So it's very difficult for you to make a decision, or for you to step out of your comfort zone if you're not listening to this voice, right? Because then you're listening to external voices, and people have no idea what's best for you, because it's just their perspective, it's their own opinion about their own lives, but it's not you, it's not your life, right? And you're listening to all those people that are making you probably like confused, and you start becoming insecure about making a move, and
you start to question yourself
and taking a bold step, right? And you're like, "No, I'm crazy. Like this people, everybody is telling me not to do it." But then you're like, "I would be so happy if I did it," you know? But then at the same time, you're like, "No, maybe just me, and I shouldn't do." I feel that you have to silence everything around you.
Yeah, all the noise.
You have
because there's
to.
a lot of it. Whether it's social media, your family, your friends, your colleagues, whatever, right? Like,
even your
so
parents, right?
Yeah, even if they mean well, it doesn't mean that they have the right
always
answers
mean
for
well.
you.
They always mean well. My dad was very opinionated in my life, and it comes from a good place. He was very protective. I was like his oldest daughter, and he always saw me, you know, jumping to the next thing and wanting more, and so he tried to hold me back a little bit, but my poor dad it didn't work out for him. He was never able to keep me, you know.
Keep you in the cage.
He tried. And my mom used to be have her opinion too, but I feel that my mom, when I was like 16, 17, she realized that I knew what I was doing. And then my mom just started trusting me, and then the role switched. My mom started asking me for guidance.
Right.
My mom,
almost like you became the parent in a way.
She was coming to you for that advice.
She was coming to me for advice because she felt that everything that I was doing, I was so sure of myself and I was so sure of my decision that she's like, maybe she knows what's like, she has the secret of, you know, life, of what to do, because it works out for her. And I still have that relationship with my mom. She calls me for advices all the time, and she listens more than she speaks, you know.
That's interesting.
That's sweet too. I have a question for you, because oftentimes a lot of us have that intuition or that voice, but it's not as loud for some as for others, because we let the outside noise kind of sway our decisions and sway us. What do you think kept you so firm in like, no, I need to listen to this voice? That confidence that you kept within yourself.
There are, like, we don't have any answers. I feel that everything is so unknown. We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
If we knew all the answers, you know, everybody would have the same religion, the same beliefs, the same everything.
Yeah.
I feel that everybody's trying to figure it out. But for me, I always had that confidence, and that confidence came from self-love. And I do believe my parents helped me to build that.
To build your self-love.
Yes. Because for my dad, I was always like amazing. You know, like I did good at school, and I was responsible, and I was never into like drinking, smoking, drugs. My dad really, like, he trusted me, even that he knew I was more like a free spirit.
Right.
My mother, she always thought I was the smartest. She thought I was she gave me so many compliments through my life.
So almost like the reassurance from your parents and like those pats on the back, so to speak, helped build your self-confidence and that love within yourself to be like, so. I'm enough.
I believe so.
To not doubt yourself.
Like my mom always made me feel that I was the prettiest, let's say, you know.
Yeah.
She always made me feel that I was capable. And I do believe my parents are the ones that I should be thanking today for this, because by the age of 16, I had enough confidence and self-love, and I knew exactly what I had to do to pursue the life of my dreams.
Wow.
And the life of my dreams was always follow your intuition and go for the next thing that excites you. Everything that I do needs to excite me. If it doesn't, if I don't have a butterfly in my stomach, if I'm not excited, I really don't do it.
Yeah, you don't want it.
I'm not interested. It doesn't mean that, let's say, I don't do things that are not pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, you're a business owner. I see you do shit all the time that you don't want to do.
There's always things you need to do.
Yes.
100%.
No, but it's like, it's a bigger picture. It's a bigger vision. You know,
it's going
I'm
back
like,
to your why.
I have to go through all this to get there, right?
Yes.
And there is what excites me.
Yes.
It's not that 2-3 years that I have to work so hard and be so stressed and so drained and overwhelmed to get there. Like, this is just a process, and it's not going to be long-lived. Sometimes, you know, in a year you can build so much and get exactly where you want it to be, right?
It's like making those sacrifices, right?
Yes.
To be like, okay, for a year I got to hustle, and
So
year down.
what it has to excite me is the vision of where I'm going. It's not the everyday. I'm so willing to compromise. Like, I've done very very bad jobs. Like, you know, I moved to Canada, I didn't have my documents, and but I wanted to work. I was always
willing to work.
Staying home for me is like killing me slowly.
We're the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're the same.
I can't. For some people, it works so well, you know, they are able to, you know, dedicate it in house decor and cooking and
being a mother. That's enough for them.
Yes.
I feel like my mom's very much like that. Like she kind of always, like she had jobs, but she helped my dad more so. And that was kind of her purpose, to just kind of like be a mom to us. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. But to your point, not everyone's like that. And that doesn't make everyone content.
No. So I remember like on the second week that I arrived in Canada, I looked at the time my partner, and I told him, I need to get a job. He's like, you just got here 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, I know, but like, I don't want to be home. And I want to find something to occupy me, something that also can be teaching me something about here. I want to really feel that I'm part of the society, like, and the country.
Yourself. Especially because you decided not to go back to Brazil. So it was like, okay, I'm here now. How do I immerse myself and start to build your life?
And the reason why I didn't go back to Brazil was because we start researching, and we realized that if I stayed here for 1 year straight, we would be able to apply for common law documents, like a paperwork. So I would be able to apply for Canadian residency. So once we made that decision, I had to stay, and I really couldn't go back to Brazil, because if I did, it would reduce the time and have to count again 1 full year of me here living with him.
Oh, wow.
So that's why when I decided to stay, I knew I had to stay for like a full year, at least that year.
So you were committing to that.
So I committed myself to that.
Yeah.
And then I knew I had to get myself busy here.
So how did you get into the beauty industry? Because you're obviously, like, you found your passion. Like, there's no doubt about that. You love what you do every single day. You've said it so many times, you know. So how did you get into the beauty industry when you got here? You obviously started working. How did you fall into that?
I've always wanted to be in the beauty industry. When I was 9 years old, my mom bought a salon spa, beauty spa in Brazil. And after school, I would just walk there and spend my whole afternoon inside the beauty spa, watching women getting beautiful, dolled up, and
it's embedded in you.
Yes,
that's so
and
nice.
we'd be like, Mom, what time are we going home for dinner? And my mom was hustling too. She's like, get a snack, we're gonna be here another hour or so. And I stayed until almost like, from I would say 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day at that place. And I just start loving how, I think what I fell in love with was watching women walk with low confidence and living like they were talking like another person, you know? They were moving like another person.
That like transition and so fast too.
I know. And
just like one service.
Exactly, because I was sitting there just pretty much watching what was going on, and I saw this woman, I didn't even had noticed her walking, and she was so quiet and went for her appointment. But after she got the appointment, she would become loud and like talking to the receptionist and like moving her hair.
Well, it's true that I read and seen that, like, it's true. Like what we wear even like is like who we act like or how we behave because it affects our confidence, right?
It does.
If you're wearing a shitty, like sweatpants suit, which like obviously we love to wear here and there, like it's fun to be comfy, but you don't feel as sexy and confident and feminine, right? So,
and I think that's why some people have the misconception that when women go for these services, it's for other people. No.
It's not.
It's for
yourself. This is the worst misconception.
You leave feeling like a queen. Like even it's for your own confidence.
Even the husbands, if they knew that like they should support their wives to get those services, because a woman that is confident, she has self-love. She feels fulfilled. She feels happy.
She shows up better in the relationship.
She shows up better for everything.
Yes, so
for
true.
Everything.
So
if you feel that your wife is a little sad, a little down, complaining, send her for beauty service.
Get her a beauty service. Yes.
Anywhere, but at BBM for sure.
I would love that.
Exactly. So I fell in love with that, I think. I'm like, I want to make women feel that way. This is amazing, like how women love my mom, and they all love my mom. My mom always put herself together, and that's something that I learned from her. It doesn't matter the job you're doing. It doesn't matter where you're working, if you're just like the bottom employee, dress to impress. I'm not saying you should have fancy clothes, not at all. It's just, make your hair cute,
Groom yourself well.
Groom
Take care of yourself.
and put yourself together, always show up with that, representing yourself, who you really are. I feel that the way we dress, it's a form of expression, right? The way we put ourselves together. So if you're just like a very clean, like the clean beauty is stunning, like natural beauty, and it's so in more than ever, but it's always been in, right? If that's your style, but just like put yourself in your best way as that
as that version.
Mm-hmm.
I love that,
because it could be done at any budget too, right? It doesn't mean you need
any
to have
budget.
That's it. So even if you're not, even if you're going to get those kitten heels to make you feel more empowered from Walmart, it doesn't matter.
The first 2 years that I was in Canada, I was working, the low jobs. You guys probably all know what those are.
Oh yeah, we've all done them. Yeah.
Cleaning, scrubbing, and cleaning, and very dirty jobs. But I was happy because I was making a little bit of money. It was $10 an hour, and I was so proud of myself.
Aww.
And I would feel fulfilled because I was bringing something to the table.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And my partner always made me feel that whatever I was bringing was enough. So
that's big too.
That's
right?
big component for sure.
Yeah.
To make you feel welcome and home here with him and safe in that space.
Yeah, and have a support that what you're doing is enough. It's like, maybe you're not doing the most sexy job in the world right now, but you were building, right, to be or to have something better and more for yourself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit. So you got into the beauty industry because of your mom, right? So you grew up, being at the spa with your mom every single day.
I went to university in Brazil. I studied economics, and I wanted to be this big, successful CEO. I always had big visions, and I did that a little bit. Like I worked in boring jobs that was like corporation jobs, and I'm like, no, this is not it. I need to express myself more and better. And I started thinking about different positions, maybe another position I would feel more fulfilled. But I just realized that working for someone and having one position, it would limit myself so much of just being me. Of expressing me,
fully shine.
And not being able to apply my ideas, right? Because you're just following rules. And I always had a hard time following rules, even at school.
We literally just talked about this. Yeah, we're the same.
Yeah. I did so good at school when things were like, oh, you go to the library, you study and this. And when the teachers were more flexible, with my strict teachers, that they were like, oh, that's how you have to learn.
You're like, no.
I lost interest, and
I was the exact same way.
Yes, and I couldn't even connect with them, and I'm like, they think they can tell me what to do, and so no, I never liked that. Yes. Yeah. So, and like I was never able to go to the gym and follow a class. I don't like.
You'll do your own thing.
I like to do my own thing.
The trainers get mad at me because I'll switch up one of the exercises. Like, you're not following it. I'm like, I don't care.
No. I know.
This is what I want to do.
I always had a hard time following like a very, strict line. And I'm like, and if I don't feel like that, like, can I go a little bit right or left? And they're like, no. And I'm like, so I'm really stuck. I'm not interested anymore. And I hate this feeling,
Right.
I've always wanted to live in a way that I can really go on my own terms, and like I'm going here, and then I'm like, I listen to that, inner voice, like, no, don't go there. Okay, we'll go here then. And, you have to be adaptable too. Like like I say, like to the girls all the time, let's change plans. I had a vision to that plan, but as close as I'm getting to that, I feel that we should switch a little bit.
Does that ever steer you wrong? Like, are you ever, because it's a little bit, it can be quote unquote impulsive to change your mind. Does that ever like come back to bite you?
You're never gonna have a full perfect vision. People think that you're gonna wake up one day, you're gonna have that perfect idea, the aha moment.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. The most important is that you get open to those moments, okay, and you set your mind into it. You're trying to you need to know where you're going, okay, and then as you go through that road, you're gonna see that what you thought was gonna work to bring you there, it's not the right path.
Right.
So
it might not be that thing.
It's not be that thing. Yeah. So then you have to be very flexible to adapt, but very quick too.
Yeah.
You know, because you're going on the path, you're getting very close to that, but then you're like, okay, if I continue here, it's not gonna be the results that I really want.
Right.
Can I get there? Yes, but
I gotta tweak this.
I gotta tweak. Yeah.
And things happen. They say
all
right,
the
like,
time.
tell God
All
your
the time.
plans and watch him laugh, right?
Yes.
Because it's like
Yes.
like it's laughable that you think
Yeah.
everything's gonna go the way you think all the time.
No.
It's not the case. So
No. Yes.
you have to seize the opportunities as they come, but be
Yeah.
adaptable, like you said.
You have to have a vision, but you need to be ready to switch a little bit that vision and adapt and do
pivot.
and do the other thing, the plan B. You know what I mean?
So the overall vision has to be crystal clear. The end
Yes.
game has to be clear.
I do believe that you need to know the direction you want to go.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, and then you picture what would you like and the way you would like to look like. You gotta have the picture in your mind too. You gotta hold on
Like
to
that
that
visualization.
Picture. Yes.
Yes.
I've always had that without even knowing what visualization is. But I've always had like a picture of a space, you know, like I want to look like this, and I could even see the colors and
I want these people around me.
exactly
that kind of thing. Yeah.
everything. So I have the vision, but I don't know, I don't have the vision of all the steps I have to do to get there, right?
Right.
So
Those you just
that
kinda
starts
figure
coming.
out.
No, it comes. And then, but then you're like, okay, I got this. So I know exactly what to do next. But then when you think you know, yeah, you got to switch. It's like, no, it's not what you thought you knew. Life is like that every day. And there are times that I'm like, no, it's wrong. I'm going to give up. I'm going to quit. And in the next day, everything comes. It's
But you have to start acting toward it for those steps to come, right? You can't just sit there and
Yeah, and be
expect
like,
all the answers to come.
No.
Hands in the air, like,
No,
I'm not
right.
going to do
No,
anything.
right.
Yeah.
Once you start moving, that's when things start to get a little clearer.
yes, and you always gonna live with doubt. Don't get me wrong. Like I still live with doubts, even if you just have to keep believing.
Keep believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Yes,
And in your vision.
yes.
Because if you don't believe in it, no one else is going to believe in it.
No one else can see the vision that you can see. So, and you can't implant that vision in someone's mind. You cannot explain with words, right? Because it has a lot more than just words. It has emotions. It has a feeling to it.
Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, we'd really appreciate if you could like, rate, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at It's That Girl Club to stay in the loop with your girls and join us in becoming that girl. See you next Wednesday.